Hello everybody, Keith here again. Today I'm going to do the what's in bloom and to some extent what's in spike for January 2024. There's actually more than I thought there were, and there's one or two that I'm quite pleased to see again, but not all of them are looking great, so we'll have to see where we go with some of these in the future. So, let's make a start then. Right, we'll start with one that's in spike. This is Phingopsis mini mark, and to say I've had problems with mealybugs for the last 2 years is an absolute understatement. This one's really had it bad, and I'm spraying like mad and still struggling on top. And just to prove a point, I was checking around this before I brought it downstairs, happened to move that, and underneath that flower spike was 1 million mealybugs. So that's all been sprayed. I've given the whole plant a really good going over. We're just going to have to wait and see what's happening with that. It is putting a new leaf up, which is nice to see. So this is one that hopefully we'll see again before too much longer, and it's got a decent looking future. Shall we have a go at next? Let's start with the cattleyas then. This is a Noid that I bought at the Kew Orchid Festival last March, I think. Yeah, March 2023, and it's a lovely little plant. It's starting to go. It doesn't last ever such a long time. That you can see that the backs of these three. I don't know how well you can see it, but there are some marks on the back of these. I do like the way they curl back, that's different, but this lip I think is lovely. What I really liked about it, and I hope you'll be able to pick this up in the video, is the sheath, and you can still see that the sheath is here. Yeah, it's perhaps more obvious on this side, but the sheaths come up and they're mottled, so you've got a dark red and green, and it goes quite dark before it actually dries off. So that's a Noid. It's grown quite well. It's not a prolific flower, but it's quite nice. This is the second, oops, sorry about that, my big feet. The second reflowering of this one. This is a named variety. It's Shing, Ming, Beauty, Rainbow. It's got a Chinese name, which is why it's Qing, but it's pronounced Shing, because I checked to be right. It was in here, it's been in here most of the time. Another blasted mealybug, an ex-mealybug now. So this will have to have a spray before it goes back. It's been in here a long time, most of the year, but the sheath did not appear to be progressing. It actually had two buds in this sheath, and there was another sheath on a separate growth. The sheath on a separate growth died back. One of the other buds, obviously, on this one blasted, so this is the only one I've got. But it's quite a gorgeous one. It's not ever so big, but it's very striking with the reds and the yellows contrasting. It changes colour slightly. It darkens when it opens. It's paler, and then the yellows fade towards an orange. has grown very well, got some good roots and lots of growth on it, so hopefully this is another one that's going to do well. This one's kept in here all year round. This is an Australian type Dendrobium, and this is Dendrobium Kingianum, and it's the variant called Silcockii. Got this through a fellow member of the Orchid Society. His is a much better plant than this. It's an absolutely colossal thing, but it hasn't flowered for several years. Perhaps still isn't the greatest of flowerings. The two other spikes are not very big, and this one is quite a few blasted, and the tip on that one's gone. But at least you can see this very pretty white with the purple spotted lip. So I zoom it in and still get the thing in focus, I wonder. I hope so. I think that's got it. Okay, so that's Dendrobium Silcockii. This is one which is coming into spike, and as you can see it's a foul and the spike is terminal. I suspect this is because of all the grief I've had with mealybugs. I have sprayed and sprayed and sprayed and I'm still struggling. The plant itself seems healthy. What it might or might not do after this one's flowered, I don't know. I hope it does something other than just roll over and die. A keiki would be lovely. It's a no idea. It's the one I got from Salisbury a few years back, which is sort of small flowered and starts green and goes yellowish. You've seen this several times before. Bit disappointed that that's happened, but there you go. Sometimes things happen and there's not a lot you can do about it. Right, this is a species nobile in spike, as you can see, not great, only a couple of buds. This is nominally virginale. I don't think it is. It's flowered before, and I think it's more Coxonianum. There's too much colour in it, but it's doing all right. Actually, I might try and offload it, but we've got there's two new growths coming, so this is a plant which is still reasonably happy. It's getting ready for a repot. It was last done in March 22 and we're now in January 24, so this is another one. I seem to have had a big potting binge in March 22, so I'm having to do it again. I've done a few over the last few days. I've not bothered to video it. It really didn't seem worthwhile, but yeah, so talking of plants which are not doing brilliantly, another one that was repotted nearly 2 years ago. This is one of my berryodas. I don't know how well you can see that. Typical berryoda flower. Probably needs a repot, put in some slightly smaller bark. We've got lots of roots, none of them are going down into the pot. So yes, I think that's ready for a look at. And we've got some newish growth down from the bottom, so we have got new roots. So that's one that needs looking at. it's not really an excuse, but one of the reasons why I've got such a logjam of repotting is still down to me being ill. I'm a lot better, very much better than I was. I'm very nearly in remission as far as I can tell. Saw my consultant the other day and she's very pleased with the way things are going. We're trying to cut my meds down, but I still get very tired, so you know, times when I might have done something, I can't be bothered. So that's now that probably means I've got too many plants and I probably need to offload some. Okay, this is, I think, the second flowering of this one. I got it as a small seedling from the East Midlands Orchid Society. This is Fingopsis pink clouds. Looks quite a lot like pink Twilight, which you'll be seeing in a sec, but this extension to the bottom lip is bigger, and the flower is probably half the size anyway, but there's similarities between the two. Still very pretty. This is actually the branch. I was trying to stake this spike, I should say, and I snapped the end off with a lot more buds on, but that's doing okay. Hopefully we'll get some new leaves on that one, because again, all my flowers have had mealybug problems this year, and some of them last year as well, so it's been an absolute pain. This is another species one. This is Albiflorum. It coming into flower. This is a keiki off my mother plant. Again, doing well. Overdue for a it's been in this pot since October 22, so it's all right for a day or two yet. But we've got a few buds on this stem. Whether they'll amount to anything, I don't know. Nothing on this one yet, but yeah, this one is a keiki. I've still got the mother plant, and whichever I think is the weaker of the two, I'll pass on, because I need to get rid of some of the duplicates I've got. This one is Akazukin, although quite what it is I'm not sure. I know I've looked up Akazukin, it doesn't really look like that, but it's one I got named from someone in the East Midlands Orchid Society some years ago. It has flowered. This is not so far on. It tends to flower a little bit later than some of them. It's well overdue for a repot. So once these flowers are over, this will get seen to, but the canes are good and solid. There's no problem with any of those, so I think the roots are still working, but no doubt could work better. There are other noblies. It does seem to be the right time of year for them to do something that most of them are just too big to move around. They're on a rack over to my right, and really there's none in flower, so you're not going to see anything more than you've just seen on the slightly smaller ones. Okay, we're getting towards the end of things now. There's an old favourite. I've had this one a long time now. This is Didn't know he's got mealybugs. Right, another one to spray. This is the one that's nominally known as the American hybrid. Good reliable plant, flowers every year. I got this from a Kew Orchid Festival 5 or 6 years ago now, I think, and it's always done quite well for me. This is actually overdue for a repot, so that will get done when these flowers drop. Normally it's on the table, but as it's in flower, I've been putting it on this white rack where we can see the flowers better. This is nothing to do with me. This is with the label White Lady that I got from Spiceotic Plants before Christmas, still in flower. This, I think, is an example of temperature tolerance and when it's growing, and intolerance when it's flowering. As you can see with this one, where they're both out, each spike puts out 2 flowers. These had 2 flowers on. The secondary flower, which wasn't as far on, dropped. There was another spike showing that didn't develop. We have got at least 1 new growth I can see in the middle of that, and another one there, so this is doing okay. When it's finished flowering, I'll repot it. Cost me £35, but I think that's quite a nice plant. It's not too big and it's doing okay. So, one more that's in flower. And you can tell by the way I'm having to handle it that this is going to be pink Twilight, which always has the most enormous flower spikes. We've got this, which is a branch, which has got 4 opens and more buds coming, and we've got a new spike, he said try not to fall over, on this side, which is beginning to develop its buds. This is very tolerant, it's got to be said. I am struggling to keep the temperatures up in here to what we are told things like Phalaenopsis need. Now I know, as I've said, as we've gone through, that some of these things are temperature tolerant, like the White Lady. The flowers are not. I try and keep this at a reasonable kind of temperature, but I can't. It's not that well insulated. I've got blinds, as you can see, on all the windows, which I've got to say made a heck of a difference. And there are a couple of central heating radiators in here, but it gets cold. It's not right. I don't have any thermostats and electrical heaters. I may need to look at that, but like all of us, I'm trying to see what I can get away with before I do anything else. If things get really bad, I'm trying to, anything that's showing signs of distress, I'm moving. I keep moving stuff upstairs or into the living room or wherever I've got space that it's a little bit warmer. But that space is now at a premium. So it's really becoming coming to the point where I've got to be more careful about what I keep and what I don't, I think, in here, like so many people that keep orchids, I suppose. It's getting down to one night this week, it got down to 13.5, and in the day it's getting to 16, 17, something like that, even with the radiators on. So it's something I need to be careful of. But some plants seem to be doing absolutely fine. This, just as an example, this is Leliocattleya Gaiety Flambeau crossed with Cattleya Mossite. I don't know what the flower is going to look like, but you can see we've got a really solid new growth, and this is progressing steadily. It's bifoliate, and we've now got the second leaf beginning to develop. We've got lots of roots, it's going down. I repotted that earlier this year, not long after I bought it. Got it very, very cheap, if you remember, at an East Midlands Orchid Society meeting where people were trying to dispose of spare plants. I got some others, but this and another Cattleya, which is not showing quite so much progress. These came from a collection that was being distributed, shall we say, for somebody that had died, and I got this for really for next to nothing, and it's doing really well. Didn't really want such a whacking great orchid, but it'll be interesting to see what the flower is like. So that one is doing okay. The Lycaste that I got at the same time, not showing any particular problems. It's keeping its leaves, it's not showing any new growths, but it seems happy enough. I'm just watching what I'm doing in terms of watering it, but that seems to be doing okay. Now then, can I get to this one? This one, I think is it Guaranthe? Down as Encyclia Black Comet. You'll find it as that, but I'm sure it's something like Guaranthe. I bought this at Sheffield Orchid Society show about a year ago from Lawrence Hobbs, and it flowered from this one, which is a lovely big pseudobulb, and it's now put 2 more growths up. So this one's doing really well, and this one's growing steadily as well. They're not going mad yet, but they are still growing steadily through the winter. So there are plants that we can keep, even in a much cooler greenhouse than we've perhaps kept in the past. Well, okay, conservatory in my case, but the same principle applies. The only thing I've found with this one is it does like humidity, so I keep it on a gravel tray. But I think that's about enough of my rambling for today. I've got to go and start getting some lunch ready. My good lady goes to a knit and natter type craft social morning on Wednesdays at our local community centre, so she'll be back before too much longer. We'll be expecting some coffee and some soup and bread for lunch. So with that in mind, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed showing them to you. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.